If you're tired of feeling like the worst offensive play in your league, or you can't seem to shake the mid-blitz meta that you play against every game, this is going to be the perfect video for you because I'm breaking down 5 tips that's going to transform your offense in CFB 26 and have you dominating every single drive. I will warn you, if you skip out on any of these tips, it could be the reason you still suck on offense. Let's jump right into it. The first thing that you need to make sure you're doing is using the right offensive settings. Let me show you. All right, so if we pause the game here, we come into options, we come into settings. All right, placement and accuracy is obviously the passing type that you need to use. Okay, do not use revamp, do not use placement, classic. Placement and accuracy is what 95% of people use, and there's a reason for that. All right, I'm telling you, I agree with them. All right, pass lead increase, I would say small or none. Doesn't make a huge difference in this specific game. I like reticle speed on 8 out of 20, although I would say that you can use anything above 5. 5 to 20 is perfectly fine here. Again, something else that doesn't make a huge impact. But if we go ahead, press the right stick in, come into our offensive adjustments, coaching adjustments, you want to make sure you have auto pass protection on base. Okay, base is the best way to go, and I'm going to show you why right here. All right, so what happens when I use base protection is if you look at my offensive line, they're all going to be white, okay? There's going to be no blue lines right here that can indicate anything else, right? This would be like a full slide, all right? And then this would be like a half slide. You want to make sure that when you break the huddle, your pass protection looks like this, okay? The reason why, where we put them in like double mug, for example, okay? Let's just say they shift their D-line to the right, okay? They shift their D-line to the right, but EA gives you trash default pass protection like a half slide to the left. You're not paying attention. You don't recognize it. All right, this is what's going to happen. Well, I'm just going to take the snap, and a guy's just going to be in my face immediately. If I block my running back, he would step up, but he would eventually get pushed into the guy. So again, you need to make sure that you're coming out, breaking the huddle with default pass protection so that you can make the pass protection adjustments when you need to. You don't need to make pass protection adjustments against every defense on every play, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. That's just not how this game is. You're gonna notice same thing where you use trash default pass protection to start the play. You don't change it. They're scheming on defense. They half slide they shift their line in one direction, and now you're screwed. So those are the best offensive settings you need to be using. Make sure you have placement and accuracy turned on for freeform, and you're utilizing base protection. All right, next you need to make sure you're actually able to beat the meta defense, nickel double mug. Let me show you how. All right, so if we go ahead and come into nickel 3-3 double mug for the defense, all right, the best way to do this is to come into gun trips tight end. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can beat mid blitz, but this is the easiest way you can just turn your brain off, all right? You're going to come, this is actually in the Alabama playbook, okay? You're going to come down into QB zone, all right, QB zone. Boom, take the snap. Run this. You have a huge numbers advantage. Now, shout out to my running back for just getting absolutely destroyed in that block, which is literally the only thing that could go wrong in this play. Went wrong. All right, this time he actually sets a better block, or we're able to, kind of cut back inside. This run comes down to his blocking out there on the edge, okay? Because you look at this play, if we draw the line right down the middle, the center and the quarterback, we have 5 blockers blocking 4 players, all right? We should easily be able to get out here to the edge and get out. That time, he does a much better job sealing the edge and are able to get out and pick up easy yards, all right? You have a huge numbers advantage to that side because all the traffic is where the receivers are, right, on the left side, okay? Boom, we take it. He actually doesn't get a good block, but I have an amazing stick, and so I'm able to cut back and turn it into a positive play. So it really just comes down to Jam Miller here, and can he hold that defender? And you're able to see that time he's absolutely able to do it. We're able to get out to the edge, shout out to the celebration. But this is easy, right? You're just watching it on repeat. Even that time he gets destroyed, but I'm still able to just run right around that defender and turn this into an easy game, all right? So quarterback zone's the first way that you can just easily beat this. The second way would just be to use pass protection, right? So half slide, this would be an example of when you actually need to use pass protection. Not every play, but against mid blitz, you need to, okay? You're going to block your running back. You're going to half slide away from the running back here. So that would be the left in this case. And then I'm going to ID this defensive end on the halfback side. So now my player looks something like this. And now I just have to actually come up with a route concept that can beat mid blitz, beat their man coverage, right? And so maybe something like this, boom, take it. Really, you're only having to make one read, and you need to make sure you're stepping over the pocket. But you're able to see we didn't instantly get screamed at. We have time to throw. All right, so we're gonna do it again. Hopefully Jam Miller actually wants to step up and block this guy this time. But boom, take it, cancel my drawback. He's able to, and now I'm able to hit my easy read to my tight end drag underneath. So it really comes down to, after you block the blitz, being able to beat their man coverage. But you're able to see we're really not having a whole lot of trouble doing that here. You know, we're able to easily pick this blitz up. He's in a perfect position, step up, get hands on this guy, and then we're just gonna hit our drag underneath. All right, so again, set the route concept the same way. Now, if they're gonna run off man, I'm just throwing curl routes at their dome every single time, okay? Boom, take it. He's an off man. I throw a curl route on the break, aggressive catch, come back to the ball. It's an easy completion. Gonna be very, very hard for a potential defensive player to stop this. So when you start mixing in the QB run game, you're able to block their blitz. You're able to beat their man coverage. What else can they even do out of mid blitz? It's very, very easy, and it's something that you need to start incorporating into your game to score more easy touchdowns against mid blitz. All right, if you're enjoying this video thus far, go down below in the comments and comment free, and I'll send you a free guide to dominate college football 26. Let's jump right back into it. All right, next you need to make sure you're using the best offensive playbook. Let me show you my favorite right now. And that's going to be the Georgia offensive playbook, okay? So we're gonna come into one of the best formations in the game every year, gun bunch, okay? You're gonna notice how easy of a play this is. We're gonna come into one you've probably never seen before, quick motion X slant. All right, all you're going to do is put X on a hitch. So what does that mean? You're gonna put him on a curl, and then you're gonna stem him down 2 notches using the custom stems, all right? Then you're going to put RB on a crosser, and you can do whatever you want with your tight end. All right, boom, we're gonna take this snap. It looks like they're gonna be in man coverage. All right, so boom, they're gonna be in pressed man-to-man coverage, which means that the only route that we really wanna hit against man coverage is gonna be that that crosser. Now, if you're gonna be playing against man, you would probably wanna put your tight end on like a zig to give yourself like a second option, but it looks like here they're gonna be in zone. And so we're gonna set the route concept up the same way. This really just becomes a pretty easy RPO, because you see what happens is you have that throw out there. This is, again, a very easy offense, right? This is part of my offensive ebook over at bltforlife21.com. But it's like, this is just such an easy offense because you just create easy route concepts where you're just holding certain defenders. Boom, okay? He's gonna stay inside to guard the hitch, so I'm just going to throw that pass out there every single time to my flat. And it's actually kind of weird because he's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to actually guard the flat, but you can just see how you're able to hit this throw it on time, and you're able to pick up, you know, an easy 7 yards on just a routine pass. And that's gonna happen against pretty much every single zone defense in the game. All right, so that's a great play to utilize, especially down in the red zone too, all about making the game easy for yourself. But if we call a play like fake screen wheel, okay, now they're gonna run cover 2, and we're just gonna have an easy throw. Like, I mean, we have that pass right down the middle for a touchdown. Really just run him in between the mid read and the deep half, and you're gonna be able to attack that seam. But look at this flat zone defender on the left side. He's in no man's land, and we're just gonna be able to possession catch that pass right in front of the defender and score an easy gain, right? So boom, we're just going to have our wheel route right up the sideline, easy completion, possession catch that pass. But then also, like I said, you can probably fit this pass in tight window throw, but you have a fast receiver, very easy. No man's land. This guy's not guarding anything. You can throw your hitch if you want to, pick up easy yards, but you have your wheel route running over the top. This is a perfect play that was literally designed to break cover 2 defenses. And that's exactly what it does, because even you can even throw your tight end, right? Boom. As soon as he runs over top of those flat zones, you can throw that tight end. So this play demolishes cover 2. All 4 of these receivers are going to be wide open against cover 2, which is very rare that every single guy on the field is able to get open. All right, but what if you're going to say, BLT, what if we put them in another defense like cover 3? Well, against cover 3, now you're just trying to throw this. You're just still trying to attack right up the seam. All right, it's the same thing. It's just you're just looking to a different area. But you're gonna see they run cover 2 defense, right? You fake the screen, and then you just throw the wheel over the top. easy touchdown every single time. So there's Georgia offense. Again, something that you can certainly build on and feel comfortable in. If we go back even onto the play call menu, they have other plays from this formation, right? They have cluster, all right? They have wild trips, all stuff I talk about in this offensive ebook. They have red zone offense from gun wing trip. So this playbook is really, really good and one you should certainly start taking a look at, especially if you're struggling on offense. And the best part about that Georgia offense is you go to the link down below in the description and pin comment and grab it today at bltforlife21.com. I guarantee it'll transform your offense and bring everything to life. Can't wait to see you there. But next I'm going to show you a trick that's going to make your offense better by making your RPO offense better. Let me break it down. All right, so you're going to come into gun bunch Y flex, okay? You're going to come into a play like this. Now, the key thing is you can hot route RPOs here, some RPOs, in college football 26. So what you want to do is a play like this, you want to put, instead of having a bubble on branch, let me reset the play. I'm going to show you what this looks like, okay? They're going to be able to play good defense, okay, against a flat route, right? Or excuse me, against a bubble. But what if I put them on a flat instead, right? So I press Y, then I press A to hot route, then I press RT. To put him on a flat. Boom. Now he immediately breaks out to the flat, and it makes it very challenging or extremely impossible for them to actually, be able to guard this, right? He just breaks out to the flat way too soon. You're able to see that time they actually ran man coverage, which you would think man coverage would be able to do a good job against RPOs. Not going to be the case simply because you just immediately break him out to the flat. Again, very, very challenging for them to guard. I mean, shout out to Gunnar Stockton for really gunning that pass in there. But you can also see it's hot routing RPOs. So it doesn't always have to be a flat. If no one's lined up over him, I'm tempted to just look right up the seam just like that and try to throw that pass. Because again, there's no one lined up over him, so it just feels like you could just attack that seam area. Right here, you probably just put him on a flat, break him out there, and then just, try to juke back inside, stay in bounds, make something shake. But this is just way better than just putting him in a bubble. Even right here, zone coverage, right? I mean, you certainly have an opportunity to pick up yards leaving him on the bubble, but actually hot routing him to something different is going to make it better. So boom, same thing. Looks like they're probably going to be running cover 3, and so then you're just trying to throw that pass right there up the seam. But most of the time, you are going to be trying to just get him out, break him quickly out to the flat. You're going to understand they're going to have a really tough time defending that because they man him up. Their man coverage defender is going to get blocked, and a lot of time he's also going to be looking into the backfield. So I'm really not finished there though, because if you put your tight end on a drag too to combine it with the flat, well, now you give yourself another option right in the middle of the field, and you can see how that's easy yards. So if they want to overcommit to the flat, now you just throw that pass right in there behind their defense, to your drag. So you really, again, like right there, boom, very easy. You have a lot of different options that you can take advantage of. And this is an RPO trick that, like I said, makes your entire offense better because it makes your RPOs better. All right, and this last and most important trick is going to make your drop back passing game absolutely elite. You've probably never heard of this before, but let me show you. All right, so what I'm about to show you can be done out of any formation, out of any play, all right? But some plays are obviously better than others in this game. Clearly, that's the whole point. But I'm going to come into one of my favorite plays, post dig from gun cluster halfback strong, okay? This is very important. When we talk about everything beaters, you might hear me, you might hear guys like Civil, Swole talk about everything beaters. And what do we mean? Plays that can beat every coverage. Because all you're doing is setting up a route concept that can beat every single defense. For me, I like to have my running back in protection a lot of the time. So sometimes I might send him out, but a lot of the time I'm only going to send out 4. This would be my everything beater, all right? I believe this play can beat every coverage, and I'm probably never going to take a sack calling this play because really, regardless of the coverage that they run, we're going to have someone open. Right there, we have our B receiver open, and it's all about read progressions. That's all you're trying to do. Go through your progressions. My first progression is my tight end drag. Then I'm getting to my zig, and then I'm stepping up and trying to hit my post route over the top. Okay, so boom, we're going to take the snap again. We're going to see how no one's in that flat, and we're going to be able to hit our flat route, or excuse me, our drag to our tight end every single time, right? And so again, more plays that can beat I have them in random defense right now. Right here, I'm going to step up in the pocket, and we're going to be able to throw that pass in there to our post. You know, sometimes tight window throw, might have to utilize some freeform passing, but you know, you just got to let it rip, man. You understand that you have a play that's capable of beating every defense. Man coverage here, you see that defender slips, falls down, and so we're able to hit that pass. So you need to start creating everything beaters, not just calling trash route concepts like this, right? Or yeah, like this is just not very good, because I mean, you have some routes that could get open, don't get me wrong, but you don't have a play call right here that's able to beat every defense, beat any adjustment. Because here's the thing, reading a defense is kind of dead, right? With coverage shells, people disguising defenses, cross man, right? It's hard to be able to read defenses consistently. So instead, what you should just focus on is calling route concepts that can actually beat every defense and every adjustment that they go to. Boom, right here, just gonna see that pass is open. Shout out to Gunnar Stockton, throwing an absolute duck. But I have my post route open in the middle of the field, all right? And so the key with these types of routes is you just want to master it so well, call it every game, maybe get in practice mode, practice it, so that, I mean, it's just muscle memory. You know exactly where you need to look. You know exactly who can get open, when they can get open, the timing, the progression, everything with the play. You become a master of a few plays that can beat every defense, and your offense goes to a new level. Because I remember last year, I called this offense every game, and sometimes again, right there, they played pretty good defense, but we're still able to find our post route because we get to our final progression on the play. All right, I called this play almost every game, like 15 times last year, 15 times a game. And we're able to, you know, have a really good offense because it's a really good play and a really good route concept. So key bottom line here, you need to go through your read progressions, clearly define who's my 1, who's my 2, who's my 3, who's my 4, and also being able to step up in the pocket and take off with your quarterback's important. But then you need to master the actual progression after the snap. Where am I going? And can this play actually beat every defense? And you're able to see, I think I've called this play every time and had someone open every single time. So it's really easy, and it really just comes down to finding that play. I like this play post dig for my Georgia offense. All right, again, if you liked any of the tips I break down in this video, just imagine all the different concepts I had in my offensive ebook. Go check it out at the link down below in the description or pinned comment. But if you're still struggling on defense in College Football 26, check out this video where I break down 5 more tips to help you on that side of the ball. I'll see you over there.